We are following several developments in the Middle East where Israeli strikes have killed a Hamas political leader and a Hezbollah commander. Our Imtiaz Tyab is in Beirut. Imtiaz, what can you tell us?
Well, Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas reacting with fury following those two assassinations. Here in Lebanon, we've seen the first funerals of those who also died in that Israeli airstrike carried out by Israeli fighter jets. Hamas, or rather Hezbollah, not confirming that Israel's target, Fuad Shukr, has been killed, although Israel and the U.S. are confirming that he was indeed killed in that strike. But really, it is the killing or assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in Iran, which is causing the most concern. Not only for Iran, which has really been exposed in a way that it's completely shocked it as a country, given the fact that Israel was able to go into Iranian territory and carry out this assassination while Haniyeh was there to take part in the inauguration of the new president. But it also speaks to a bigger issue. Ismail Haniyeh was leading negotiations for a ceasefire and hostage release deal, indirectly negotiating with Israel. And with him now dead, again, killed by Israel, although Israel has been silent on it, but Hamas and indeed Iran saying that Israel was behind it, this really calls into question whether or not a ceasefire deal or a hostage release deal can be achieved, given the fact that he's now been killed. And many feel that these negotiations are now hanging by a thread. Nancy.
Imtiaz Tyab, thank you so much. Willie James Inman joins us now from the White House. Willie, thanks for being with us. At the White House briefing today, National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby spoke about the risk of war spreading in the Middle East. Take a listen, then I want to ask you about it.
We don't believe that an escalation is inevitable, and there's no signs that an escalation is imminent. But I also said that we watch it very, very closely. I also said, and said again today, that this is something that we've been concerned about since the 7th of October.
Willie, how much concern is there within the White House about these latest strikes?
Hey there, Nancy. Well, good to be with you, and we apologize for the rain here. I'm just going to continue and talk through it. But the White House seems to be concerned, but at the same time downplaying these strikes, essentially saying that a widespread conflict and escalation is not inevitable, as John Kirby said just there. You also have Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. He said as much earlier today while traveling with his press corps. He was asked about this situation as well. And I can tell you, White House officials are trying to make sure that a wider spread conflict doesn't happen. You have Secretary of State Antony Blinken working the phones, trying to make sure that he has everybody in line, working on that ceasefire and that hostage negotiation deal. That's the focus for this White House, Nancy. They're trying to make sure that everyone stays the line and doesn't escalate things any further.
Right. And in fact, Secretary Blinken was asked about the killing of the Hamas leader earlier today. Let's take a listen to what he said.
I've seen the reports, and all I can tell you right now is I think nothing takes away from the importance of, as I said a moment ago, getting to the ceasefire.
So the ceasefire is the priority, but where do ceasefire talks stand after these strikes?
Well, we know, according to White House officials, that this is still ongoing. It's still an ongoing conversation. In fact, Kirby just mentioned at the press briefing a little bit ago, he said that people are in the region, that you have a U.S. delegation in the region working on this hostage negotiation deal. But I'll point out, though, Nancy, one of the chief negotiators, or mediators, I should say, is the Prime Minister of Qatar, Al Thani, who said essentially on social media, he said, how can mediation succeed when one party assassinates the negotiator on the other side? That coming from the Qataris in note of this situation that we have seen play out in the Middle East.
Yeah, that's not a great sign. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said today, though, quote, "We will settle our scores with anyone who harms us." Does the White House agree with that approach?
Yeah, these comments came out just hours ago, and I reached out to White House officials to get their response in terms of what they had to say. No word yet on a response to the prime minister's comments, but I'll point out, oftentimes you have Prime Minister Netanyahu. He will come out and say something that the White House doesn't necessarily agree with. And let's point out, of course, that the White House is working on de-escalating things. These comments from Prime Minister Netanyahu certainly may not appear to do just that. But White House officials and officials within the Biden administration say that they are working to de-escalate the situation, to cool the temperature, so to speak. But these comments probably don't add to that cooling of the temperature, as they've been trying to say that they're doing. Nancy?
No question. Willie James Inman, who looks like he is braving a ferocious rainstorm there today at the White House. Thanks so much.
You bet.